It's another Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi, and as always, I never do this alone. I have my lovely co-host. Hi, ladies.
Excellent morning.
We stole Ngozi from the breakfast show. Thanks for joining us.
People will be feeling like, what?
We just saw you. We had to drag
you know how
you.
it is.
Yeah, because unfortunately, Miriam couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Something came up this morning. So
Okay, I'm glad to sit
had
in
to
for her.
to join us. Good to have you on. How are you doing?
I'm glad to.
Glamour. You know she's a
good.
grandma.
Yes, she is.
She has a. She's just you're intimidating grandmothers. What kind of
Look, this is how grandmothers should be.
look, right?
You know?
You're white in the same league. You should have an
Yeah, and it
association.
was fun actually welcoming YK to the club.
You should actually have an association of glamours
glamour.
where you guys just hang out and do your
know?
thing, and and we are all aspiring to be like that.
Don't worry, collect anointing.
I receive.
I won't be left behind.
How
I
you
don't
doing,
understand.
Obiachile? How was your
Doing
weekend?
Amazing. I'm so grateful for life. I'm happy to be alive today. That's the first thing.
You're always happy
I
to
do.
be alive. We know we're all happy to be alive. This is
No,
what
some
happened
people
over
don't
the
show
weekend.
it all.
Really take for granted.
Yeah,
honestly.
I am excited. I'm alive. My family members are alive
How
today.
was your weekend?
My weekend was great. So we had this, we usually go to the health club.
Right.
You know, I told you guys I'm working on 6 packs for Oga, which we are still
Oh.
working. And after that, we had to swim.
You better love him like that.
I know, he has to. We're
Six-pack.
not the only ones that are supposed to be looking all trendy and...
God forbid the guy gets.
Your guy looks
God
nice
forbid
though.
the guy
Yeah,
gets
he's
six
I didn't
packs.
see anything.
But
And then
I
some
like a
people
bit
start to
more
help you
muscle.
turn.
Oh, really?
Did you hear what?
I didn't hear her.
I said, God forbid the guy has 6 packs and you have helpers helping you to appreciate
Yeah,
the
because he becomes
You are the
more
one that brought it
attractive.
Forget it.
Somebody on the women's group that I am in church, somebody said something that we women, sometimes you're the one that invite trouble.
guy.
You know, you have a perfect husband, marriage, and everything, and you just by yourself. Look for the trouble to come and bring it to your home.
can
And
handle it?
immediately,
You know, like my people say, before in him mother or in him yours.
what does that
Before
mean?
someo's property turns to another person's property.
It's the one that is the yam that you put down that go to eat. So,
How are you
we
doing?
have something to say about it in our dialect. I had a wonderful weekend, and I had my roommate from law school visit over the weekend, and it was really,
Nice.
really bonding. As in, you know, those deep things you see as single girls, as young. My children were asking the next one, when is Auntie Gani coming back? Gani, thank you. Please come back very soon. Very, very
That's
soon.
nice.
They really had nobody beating them. She doesn't beat children. She just
Oh.
those kind of aunties that you just love. We had a nice weekend. It was really nice.
Ngozi, how was your weekend? Any
How
highlights?
was my weekend? I actually tried to rest.
Me
Because
too.
I had such a packed week,
Right,
you know,
right.
and I kept sleeping and sleeping and sleeping and sleeping.
Same thing.
Thankfully, my mom is with me in the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to see that photo. That photo shot. Please, somebody should do photo shot for this one.
So you have 4 generations.
You know,
Yes, now.
oh yeah. And Saturday morning comes and she's like, Ngo, your breakfast is ready. Oh, I'm like, oh,
That's the life.
this is heaven and
My
earth.
mom, I miss her.
Enjoying.
But of course, there was church as usual. My pastor, you know, he's had a way of instilling in us a love for our neighbor. We had a love your neighbor
Oh, really?
day at church yesterday. So went out,
Please continue.
distributing
continue.
stuff. Okay, don't worry.
down.
Let us
You're my
continue.
neighbor. So
No, I'm
you
your
know, you
neighbor.
better-
Please, what's your shoe size?
See your
I mean,
neighbor.
see some lovely shoes. Yeah, what's your shoe size? I'm your neighbor. Yeah, pass.
39.
Collect
I'm 40.
we're the same.
Oh.
I'm
Don't worry
40.
about this oversized people.
Anyways, talking about
So
that.
that was it, really.
Oh,
How's your
that's
weekend,
cool.
Mariah?
I'll say that my mom, you see, if you want, my mother wants to show that she loves you. She just pass you jewelry.
Oh.
That's foolish. She just be giving you all these bangles and rings, and I'm like,
good. That's
that's her
cool.
own show of love. Anything, all our clothes, she pass it to you, all like, everything. And I'm like wondering, Mom, say, want to make some breakfast? Like, want to make me nice, lovely breakfast?
I think I'm more like your
Yeah, my mom, right?
Yes.
She's a glamour. She's
But I
like,
do it. It's my daughter-in-law that actually, you know,
Enjoys all
benefits.
of this.
Cool.
I'm like, V,
That's
what would you
nice.
have? Take this, take that.
the daughter-in-law. Oh, that's, you only have one son, right?
Oh my God.
This is their family.
And I
so...
call her my baby girl.
Oh, okay, right.
Jealousy.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, when I become a grandma, I want to be like you.
Yeah.
Hot, beautiful, and you know,
Trendy.
And generous.
and generous. Let's go on a break. It's Monday. When we come back, it's only Buhari that's on the papers today, so we want to breeze through it because obviously they've launched their campaign.
They have,
That's- We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So Punch, Nation, Sun, Vanguard, and I think this day are all celebrating, not celebrating, they're all projecting the fact that Buhari Osinbajo campaign has started. So let's just go straight to the news up top. Army uncovers new terrorist group in Northeast.
Hey. Try.
Obasanjo sues journalists for ₦1 billion over Bola Ige's assassination claim. And Buhari article unveiling plans as campaigns begin. This Obasanjo story.
I have the story.
Did you get the name of the, it was a radio journalist? I can't remember
Yes,
the
an
name.
online journalist and a radio presenter, Mr. Akanda Oro.
Akanda.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Akanda Oro. So,
Because he made some really
yes, he
serious
made
allegations.
claims that Obasanjo was the one who killed Chief Bola Ige. And also, there's this guy, vice chairman of the defunct ANPP,
Right.
Harry Marshall.
Harry Marshall,
Yes,
yeah.
and he said this in, he also wrote it in, he published it. So the suit now is for him to pay 1 billion and retract
The
the story from the paper.
And what this journalist was saying is that, listen, Obasanjo should go and try to swear that he knows that he cannot swear, that he doesn't have a hand
in
in
Bola Ige's
Bola
killing.
Ige's death.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
the
pretty
unfortunate
weighty.
thing is, I guess what he was trying to say, I'm not
defamation.
trying to defend him now. What the journalist was trying to say, all of these killings actually happened
Yes.
on
Under his
Obasanjo's watch. So at the end of the day, who really should take
I think he should have
responsibility?
made it very explicit when he
Yeah.
says such a thing, so that we don't have other, implications coming from what he said, because this is certainly defamation work.
Yes.
It
happening.
is, it is.
1 billion
It
naira
is.
suit.
That's
That's a lot.
it-
Okay, let's move on
It's
to
huge.
the nation. Why we are rebuilding Ayefele's house. We've broken Berlin Wall in Kwara. APC is gloating over their win.
Yes, ma'am.
Foreign investors, government diverse from banks. Young fans cries over meeting in Wobi and Buhari, my second term plan. So why is the
According
governor Ajimobi
According to a commissioner,
Rebuilding
in the-
Ayefele's
in
house.
fact, a commissioner
Ayefele,
in
sorry,
Oyo State,
building, go ahead.
is, yeah, the radio station.
according to the commissioner, he said that because of the fact that Ayefele owned up to his contravention
Right.
and also apologized personally to the governor, this is why they are now, remodeling his house and, turning the rear end of the house to the front and turning the front to the back,
the
so
back.
that to provide enough parking space, reducing the rear end to cover. They are doing the work and they are footing the bill.
Yeah, but the very
And-
important question that one of our guests on the breakfast show actually asked, on whose account is this going to be? Is it going to be from Ajimobi's
Exactly.
personal pocket?
Right.
Or is it
So
from
this is exactly why I
your
read
state account?
the story through and through. A contravention order, of course, will be footed by the owner of the property
Yes.
when they are remodeling. But this person is owning up and saying, this is why we are doing it. So
And as
obviously,
and that's
your
I
state.
hate to sound tribalistic, but that's a Yoruba thing. Because you have admitted it. You see, we should always do
okay.
things by the rule of law.
It's not just
Let's
Yoruba.
do things proper. It's almost like, well, let's maybe
Will
not
every Yoruba man
it's a
get this
Nigerian thing,
treatment?
It's an African
No,
thing.
it's a celebrity.
Because
It is
you
to
have
score.
apologized, you
Let's let it
admitted.
go.
Well, public
problem
mass.
that is set, that
Exactly.
structure
So why don't we just
in the
put
first
processes in
place?
place and follow it through and through?
So
Like I said before, he contravened a law. He was punished according to that law. He will bear the consequences of it. That is how it's supposed to be plainly.
Okay.
But because he's a celebrity and we need to score these marks, we
Okay.
don't want to lose his fan base
All
on
right,
elections.
all right.
We
Let's
do these
move on.
things.
And
you
some
say
thought
so.
it was a wrong political move. Anyway, it was
our
a
Alaji,
wrong timing.
Alaji was saying that they've broken the Berlin Wall in Kwara because they won the by-elections.
It would have been impossible before to vote for the people to vote against a Saraki candidate. But this time around, it happened in their Federal House of Reps by-elections. in Kwara.
Okay, moving on now to Daily Sun, as we are breezing through. Sean hate speeches, US, UK, EU, others tell politicians. Federal government, states, local governments, all of them shared 2.28 trillion in Q3, according to NATI. Don't set Nigeria ablaze, Buhari urges politicians. So this money that they are sharing, that's from the federal allocations. I think it's about, I think the federal government got the largest chunk, about 900 and something billion.
Federal government always gets the
does.
largest chunk.
And the states got about 700 plus billion, and then the local government got about 400 plus billion. So now that we know that they've gotten this much money, we should actually demand
See
it
what
more.
they are using exactly.
We never
using
know
the
what they
money
use these
for.
monies for.
Salaries.
Salaries.
Did anybody read the story on the UK-US warning us about the politicians?
So the EU, all their delegates were talking with the DSS, warning that, because we flagged off campaign now on Sunday, 18th of November, we should be careful and try to watch against hate speeches, things that we unnecessarily heighten the
Top the system.
They
I'm
also
glad about
said
the
that
flagging off because Obi Ezekwesili went to Stadio Harris with Thanksgiving
Anambra.
service on Sunday. How
And
nice.
you see that picture? Really looking good.
Beautiful
First
picture.
time that
Nice
I'm
blue.
actually seeing Obi Ezekwesili
say that they
with
are
makeup.
going to be very...
And she looked really,
really
good.
good.
And look, where are the women? Are we going to be supporting her
It's important.
because she's a woman or because she actually has what it takes?
We
to be-
interviewed her on the
I
show.
think she has what it
has
takes.
what
I
it
think
takes.
she has
And
what
she
it
has, she's coming with a lot of experience. She
I
has
think
what it
Nigerians just need to show our politicians that, listen, you can't predict us anymore. Those are you can put two and
We
two
know what we
together.
want now.
We know what we want
We
now.
can
We are
hold you
more
accountable.
enlightened.
Yeah.
So
Well, it
don't
looks
just
like the
assume.
politicians still feel they can actually predict us.
It
You know
looks
the
like
funny
it.
thing? They might get away with it.
That's the sad part of
they
it.
keep getting away with
But let's move on. But see, it gets better. We keep breaking. We keep getting new grounds. Maybe by 2023, we'll get it right. But at least
much better.
moving on. Moving on to New Telegraph. 2019 fireworks begin. Buhari, Atiku is deceitful. Playing politics with restructuring. Atiku replies, you are good at making promises, but
you're
don't
not
deliver. PDP says Nigeria can't survive another 4 years under president. President to politicians, don't set Nigeria ablaze over polls. And US, UK, EU, others demand for fair campaign. And you cannot miss the picture here of Ganduje or the Gandola, amongst other people,
Bagan.
collecting an award from New Telegraph. And when young people see this, I wonder what they say, oh, wow, I want to be a Ganduje tomorrow. Interesting. And there's another picture here. Gunmen kidnap 45, collects 15 million naira to free twin sisters in Zamfara. Sex for Marx lecturer. There's a rain today. Serap seeks probe of campaign funding claims by Saraki. All right, who has the
gunmen story.
The gunmen story.
So
Go ahead,
the
please.
twin sisters were kidnapped a month ago, and the bandits requested 100 million to release them, but then they found a way to pay just 15 million. They were sharing their wedding invitation when they were kidnapped. Now, a couple of days back, 44 people were kidnapped at the same area in Zamfara State on their way to the market. They had an issue with their truck, so they were trying to get the truck off the ground. It was stuck in sand when those bandits came in with their bikes, swooped in and kidnapped them. So the police, they're saying now they've gone after, they are getting their men and getting the military involved to go after them and
So
see
two
what they
things
can
for me
recover.
quickly. Zamfara, kidnapping, very rife. Every time happening. We see the governor's forum speaking on, minimum wage, but he's not talking about the security of his people.
And when you talk about that, considering the fact that the federal government actually deployed about 1,000 troops to Zamfara because of the banditry, kidnapping, and the security situation there, so, only in July.
Yes.
And about a few weeks ago, the House of Reps called for a fresh deployment of military
Security
to
officials,
Zamfara.
So with all the focus of security in Zamfara, we're still not covering it because these people had to pay 15 million naira, they had to raise it, and one of the most, the highest contributor was named in the paper as one of their reps member. So this is happening in Zamfara. I would like to see the governor more, be the one talking, going to Abuja for this.
All right. I mean, am I the only one that's having an issue with these pictures on the front page? The one with Ganduje and...
We should soften small Ganduje. You know he has sued for defamation. Let's see.
So it wasn't him in the
But the
pictures.
sex for Marx, I wanted to quickly say that, the ICPC will be arraigning the lecturer today.
Oh, that's
and one of the
fantastic.
offenses, let me clearly say it is because he got gratification for carrying out his duties. And, that's the body that would, of course, most empowered to prosecute him. Let me ask the question.
Let's rush now to Nigerian Tribune, might be our last paper. At next level kickoff, our choice will shape Nigeria's future, says Buhari. 4 INEC officials, core member 3-year-old died in Kogi auto crash. NDLEA intercepts another 11 containers with 241 million tramadol tablets. So our president has declared, said that the next level kickoff is that's their slogan for the next 4 years. And I guess we'll get details of that as we read.
As time
but
goes on,
do you have the human interest?
Yes, 4 INEC staff members died in an accident alongside an NYSC member and a 3-year-old child. They were just returning from a wedding ceremony of one of their colleagues when the accident happened. So
Really
the
sad
vehicle
story.
rammed into an articulated
Our roads
truck.
continue to be a death trap.
Exactly.
You know,
Totally and completely.
in spite of all the efforts by road safety
for
and
their
all
loss.
the rest of them to actually educate people
Right.
on how to handle themselves on the road.
Really sad.
Still record all this.
Our hearts go out to
Sad.
those who've lost their lives
Yeah.
on this. All right, we're going to go on a break. When we come back, Osun again is in focus. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So in the last couple of weeks, the Rauf Aregbesola administration has seemed to be projecting the achievement of the last 8 years. We'd like to hear your views on what you think about the outgoing administration. Join us on the show is the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, Osun State, Adebimpe Ogunlomade. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag TVC so we can read your tweets. My first question is, in the last 1 week, I know you've been, quite a few number of media houses you've been to, your government has been to try to project what the the outgoing governor has done. And you beg to wonder, why is there a need to actually inform us? Because usually when this thing, when a government performs, it's glaring in our faces. Why is there a need to continually have this conversation across the media platforms? And even there was a daybreak with Arova on Saturday, I think, Friday night to Saturday morning. Why is there this need?
Well, thank you very much. I believe there is a need. You know, the man has done a very good job. And there is a need, you know, to keep on eulogizing his good virtues. The achievements is there for you. So you cannot just forget. He's not somebody, Mr. Governor is not somebody you can forget, you know, just like that. We cannot allow him to go like that. We need, you know, to continue to remember him. And that is why, you know, we just feel it is very good for their part, you know, to project his image, to keep on remembering him, even as he's still with us. Right. So I believe he has done so well.
When he had the vision that I saw positively in the first 4 years, but, you know, with the loan owing of salaries, please first, let's start with what his vision was and why it failed or it seemed to fail, you know, following the next 4 years.
Let me even rephrase that question, because that was going to be my first question, Imam. In the beginning, the governor came in with so much energy and drive and desire. We're just seeing him going all over the place. Because we've seen how he worked in Lagos State. So we just knew, this guy is a firebrand. When he gets to Osun, he's going to turn things around. So at some point, it seemed as if that plan just frizzled out. No. So help us understand the vision in the beginning and what happened it seemed as if...
Did he suffer any itch?
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
That is why we are here. That's why I'm here, to tell you that for the past 8 years, it has been a success story. Don't mind whatever. Whatever. I don't want you to mind whatever people have been saying about this man. Okay. But you are hearing the truth from me. You know, because we started this journey together, and to the glory of God, we are on it. And when he leaves, we are still going to continue with the administration.
When you say, you know, don't mind what people are saying, I mean, you think that governance is really about the people. And not necessarily the man. I mean, when you say you don't want the man to be forgotten and all of that, don't you think it is the people themselves who have been served right or wrong that would actually determine if he'll be remembered for good or for bad?
Thank you, but I want to ask you a question. Who are these people that you are talking about?
Well, I guess we're talking about the people of Osun.
People of Osun.
I'm telling you, it is not the voice of the people of Osun about him that he derailed. You are hearing, you know, rumors. That is what I want to tell you.
We are aware that there was a loan taking, and so the resources of Osun or the allocation of Osun had to be really well managed. We know about the modulated salary scheme. It had to be adjusted. People's salary had to be adjusted. We're also aware that a few weeks to elections, they have to clear up a backlog of salaries. Help us understand what is out there in the media. Which one is right, which one is wrong. Do they owe salaries in Osun? Did they owe? In the last 4 years, how was it cleared?
Thank you. Let me clear this. You know the issue of modulated salary. You recall that around 2015, thereabout, there was this economic recession all over the country. Yes. Right? I know the state was not an exception at this time. And you know, we have to manage with whatever we have. And you know, there is this option left in human management, human resource management. There is one option, and that is downsizing. And that is what the governor, you know, did not want to do at that time. Okay. So all he what we were left with is to, call the representative of the labor union, to talk with them on the way forward to manage the resources at that time. And that was why we came up with modulated. And I will clear the hair on the issue of this modulated salary. There are categories of officers, in spite of the problem at that time, there are handful salaries. You will not believe. But, what people want to hear is like, Aregbesola is not able to pay salary.
I'll come to Obiajulu, I'll come to you. But you see, I don't want to lose the first question Nima asked, which is really important. What was the vision in the beginning? What exactly? Because we were not clear. But what was the plan? Because when a governor starts, it's either you have plans to internally generate revenue, or you have plans to just get federal allocation, or you have plans to actually empower people. What exactly was the plan, and how did he go about it? So that we understand, because for us, what we are seeing outside was the governor just...
It was a people-oriented, for me, in the first 4 terms. Yes, of course. So the first 4 years, we had
throughout the 8 years,
he employed farmers, he created the market for the farmers. That vision was very clear. Opoyimo and all that, it was focused on the people, education for the people, teachers, empowerment. What was that vision like? I wanted you to be the one to elaborate the things we read.
Thank you.
But the last 4 years, it was obvious even during the elections. It almost cost that this party their stay in election.
Okay, I don't want you to isolate the first 4 years, okay, from the last 4 years. I told you that it has been honed. The 8 years at a stretch has been honed. You know, that kind of a thing. So for you to say 4 years of this, it started very, very well. And it has been on like that, even up to this present moment. So you cannot isolate the first 4 years from the last one.
So the Social Democratic Party wrote a 10-page article, and more like a scorecard of the governor's achievements in the past 8 years. And they highlighted a lot of issues. And one of the issues, because you are into finance, is that this government is owing over 200 billion. Now, the internally generated revenue, which we saw a growth in, was 32.6%. At the same time, the debt stock was still growing by 32.6%. Now, there's so much loan hanging over the government. How does they even projected that it would take till 2040 for Osun State to come out of this debt. So what's the plan on how to get out the people?
What kind of loan did the state?
What are you handing over to the new governor?
Several loans. All
in addition to that,
are you sure about that?
In addition to that, let me just add this: the present government of Aregbesola that will be out, very soon, actually said that by 2019 that this debt will be cleared.
Exactly.
So how realistic is that?
Okay, I'll let you answer that question after this break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So back to the issue Obiajulu raised earlier before we went on break. There's a perception that the outgoing administration is leaving quite a bit of debt for the next one. Is that true? Could you help us clarify that?
No, I don't. I'm an insider. Right. It is not true.
Okay.
And I want you to put it on record. There is no country or state or anywhere in this world that will not go, ahead because of the fact that you want to do good. You want to serve the people. You want everybody to, to project you as, a very good state. You go ahead. Even nations of the world do borrow. The problem, what I want to say now is that we have been able to manage our debt for crying out.
Very important.
Okay.
So it has not, impaired on any other thing.
But beyond being able to manage the debt, like you have said, do you have the capacity to actually, clear the debt? Because what will be there? Exactly.
What's the limit?
Osun State is very known for agriculture and all the rest of them. How is the state actually harnessing some of these, benefits of the state to actually not only fix the debt profile, but to actually improve the standard of living of the people?
When Ogbeni assumed duty in 2010, there was this revenue bill that was initiated and passed. And the essence, you know, was to bring life, to reinvigorate the revenue services in the state. And this has been done. Before his assumption of duty, we have a revenue of, you can boast of monthly revenue of 300 million. Now we have hit the 1 billion mark. We are over 1 billion now. That is to show you that, you know, he's passionate about development, about, you know, not relying on the federal allocation.
Okay, we'll go to the issue of him being very, very passionate about the people, especially the kids. Education, for example, we know that he actually started the model the federal government is using of feeding program. So we know he started well. Yes. Now, and also we understand that even in providing food for these children, he was able to empower lots of farmers because they are actually grown in Osun State.
Not only farmers, food sellers. We have 40,000 of them who are, you know, are enjoying the program. We are doing well. You know, he's been able to bring them out of poverty. He's been able to create jobs for this category of people.
Recently, there was the NBC statistics on poverty reduction in Osun State. They pegged Osun at 17.5%, and that's better than Lagos. Tell us about how you use industrialization to, you know, enhance this, because I'm aware there's the garment industry, other things that, you know, you had to do.
You know, in order to bring about economic transformation, one of the things that he did, you know, was to bring back life, because we have a lot of industries that were, you know, moribund, not functioning, nothing. We have 6 industrial zones at that time that were almost dead. What he did was to reinvigorate this thing, you know, to reactivate.
Which ones are working now?
Exactly. Everyone is working, because he has been, because he has been able, you know, to develop the zones, the industrial
6 industrial
zone, you know, functional. We have, you know, so many people have been trained, you know, as entrepreneurs. So they are under the
in effect is when by the time Boyega Oyetola takes over as governor, he has the right foundation laid for this government to take off. I mean, you know, speedily. But there is something that happened in the last election, which was a reflection of how divided the state was or still is. So how will the cracks actually be mended in such a way that, I mean, look at the gap in the election, about 353 votes, which means there were people who said a total no to the APC, and said a yes, a big yes to the PDP. Right. But of course there was a supplementary election, and it went back to that gave Boyega Oyetola, you know, the governorship, you know, result. So how is that going to be fixed? So that you have governance actually take off.
Question.
Go ahead.
You spoke about cracks within the party.
Not within the party.
Within the
state.
No, there is nothing like that.
Okay.
What really went wrong, you know, is more than meets the eye.
Okay.
So it's not for me. You know, I'm a public officer,
so
I cannot say.
There's
this platform.
There's this criticism on monopoly of trade. You know, when he got into power, he decided to merge all the post-primary schools together and then gave them one uniform. And it was said that only one company handled the production,
which is the
garment
industry.
Exactly. And that took a lot of people away from their business, because people who had, aside from losing identity of schools, all the schools were merged, you could not differentiate which school is which. People who were used to sewing for different schools lost out in that project.
It was actually a major issue during the election.
Yeah, so what was the rationale behind it, and how has it impacted on the people?
I don't believe it's an issue. The Omoluabi Garment Factory, you know, was the creation of Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola.
Okay.
And upon the creation of this garment factory, 30,000 tailors, garment makers, from the state were appointed, within the state. And that shows you that it has helped to stimulate the economy, you know, to create wealth, to help these people. Some of them were not gainfully employed before the creation of this Omoluabi Garment Factory. So to say that it has you know, let them out of job, I will not agree with that.
Okay, let me take this call. Mr. Tunde Rahman, are you there? Thanks for calling. You're live. Go ahead, please. Yeah, I think he's listening to the radio. Okay, we have to, since the call is not coming, let me go to the issue of Okpoimo.
Yes.
What was the rationale? Let's start with that, because a lot of people thought it was a bit ambitious for the government at the time to go into that kind of a project, especially where, you know, the indices at the time was, okay, the educational sector was not at its high at the moment. So it just seemed that it seemed a bit too ambitious at the time. But how has it fared? What exactly was the objective of starting it? And where are we on the Okpoimo? How many students have it today? And how effective has it been?
Thank you very much for that question. Okpoimo is tablet of learning. If you, I don't know whether you have seen, where I've seen it.
I want
and
my own.
I'll give, yeah, surely you have it. And I've seen, you know, it has a lot of, you know, subjects.
Syllabus and curriculum.
It is the essence is to assist. You know, we have some students that are indigent, whose parents cannot afford to buy textbooks.
That's true.
And Okpoimo has helped in this regard.
How many students have it?
Over 50,000 of them is having it now.
Yeah,
So it is mainly for students in high school, in high schools, you know, who are preparing for the WAEC examination. And it has impacted well. I will tell you.
Okay,
Don't
let's talk
mind
about
whatever anybody is saying about this. It's a very good program.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, the last lap of this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. We have Mr. Tunde Rahman holding on. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ladies.
Yeah.
Good morning.
How are you? Go ahead, please. You have a comment or question?
I just felt that the need for me to speak on this your very important program.
Okay.
For a number of reasons. I think some of the criticism of the Ogbeni administration has been down to lack of information.
Okay.
You see, people will appreciate more what Ogbeni has been able to do if you visit Osun State.
Okay. I
was in Osun State recently before the build-up to the last election. And what I saw pleasantly surprised me. Like the power secretary has talked about the unemployment index. It is about the lowest in the country.
Okay.
I think the problem is because I remember as editor of this day, I went to visit His Excellency. And what I could see from that interview is the fact that he wanted to do too many things at the same time, and the money is not there, and the time is not there. But at the end of the day, Ngozi is right there. Ngozi was in Osun, and he saw this thing. The government has changed the value of Osun State considerably. Not only the physical value, but the economic value. For instance, if you go on the street, you see that the city is bustling. So many event centers, the banks are bustling with people, and a whole lot of things.
Mr. Rahman, do you understand that?
Talk about,
Mr. Rahman,
when having not performed well,
right.
They need to visit the state and see for themselves. Like I said, unemployment is about the lowest. She talked about the poverty reduction, which is about the lowest in that
right.
place.
Okay, let me when I go to Ife, when I'm driving, I pass through Oshogbo, and the first thing we see is that bridge.
Yeah,
that
the
impressive
ring road.
bridge, and you're thinking, wow, this guy has...
That's the trumpet bridge.
The trumpet. So you get excited, like, this governor knows what he's done in the beginning. But suddenly, project stopped. Yeah. So the issue is that people are saying it was almost as if abandoned project, or you had a vision, but you couldn't carry it through. So we want to understand what went wrong, and how are we going to ensure that going forward, this new administration actually fulfills on those infrastructural developments?
Well, let me ask you one question. When last did you visit Osun State?
I was there not too long ago, a few months ago. I drove past that place.
I just want you to...
Well, I was there in September during the election, and of course...
And what can you say about it?
Look, I'm not here to sell
the project,
but one has to say the fact that really, truly, I mean, compared with the first time that I went to Osun, which was in 2004, and what I saw, marked improvement.
Wow.
Really.
Yes,
but then again, the question that we're trying to, nobody's saying that Aregbesola has not done well.
Yes.
You know, but I mean, those areas that really are the issue for people, the issue of the debt and all of that. How much confidence can you give people that look, it's not going to be a burden, you know, to the people?
I can assure you, please. I can assure you that the debt issue is not a problem.
It's not out of hand.
It's not out of hand. We've been
we were talking about agricultural, you know, diversification earlier.
Yes.
You know, value chain and what have you.
You know,
60 million cocoa trees in Osun State. How? I mean, there's no need asking how will Aregbesola, you know, turn that around, because or how was he able to, you know, use that to add value to the lives of Osun people, and you know, how will Oyetola, you know, carry on from there?
There is this company, the cocoa industry. I don't know whether you have heard about it in Ede. The company, you know, was moribund before the coming of Ogbeni. No action, nothing. But now he has, you know, put the company into life, and they are now adding. They are not only buying cocoa beans as it used to be, but they are now adding value to cocoa to cocoa production. You know, they are making cakes, they are making beverages, they are making this and that of it. That is to tell you that, you know, something will come out of that.
Well,
and that is the reason why
when we can eat chocolate from Osun.
But
let me let you round up.
Ma, I'd like you to round up, because unfortunately we have run out of time. Well, what is Aregbesolah's legacy? What's that thing he's leaving behind?
You have not even allowed me to speak from my own, you know, to tell you about my own experience as a civil servant.
If you can do that in a split second.
Okay, thank you very much. Awesome. I'll do so. I'll tell you it has been glorious. You know, when he came, one of his cardinal program, you know, was to turn the civil service around. You know, that kind of a thing. And I want to tell you that we have a unified civil service now. Yes, there is career progression is so certain now that you can start from the lowest and, you know, end up being, and you have the mobility. There is this career mobility. I can start as a teacher. I started as a teacher and see where I've ended today. You can decide to go back to teaching tomorrow. You know, we have one unified big, and the way we do things has improved. You know, that kind of a thing. It is no longer bureaucracy as usual. We have what I can term positive bureaucracy. So that has impacted on the way we handle government business.
Congratulations to the Aregbesola.
So he has really tried.
We have to run up,
really
unfortunately. Well, we thank you so much, Ma, for... Yeah, take some tweets.
Okay, so...
Is he opening? It's closed. Unfortunately, we can't.
Okay, the tweets, but
that's all we can take. But thank you so much, Ma. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate the efforts of the governor, the outgoing governor.
Yes.
And we can only hope that the new governor is able to work seamlessly going forward in the new administration.
Give me just 1 minute.
I don't think minutes, unfortunately. Don't worry, you know what?
If you give me 1 minute, I will tell you that Ogbeni Oyetola has been part of these achievements.
Okay. The Aregbesola
success story.
Right. Okay.
And I believe that it's going to be a continuation, seamless continuation of good things to come for the people.
All we can
so
take.
I can know ramifications.
I can move
all right,
to
have a fabulous morning.
You are
We'll see
welcome.
you tomorrow. Bye-bye.